Welcome back, everybody, to the Base Lesbian Podcast. As always, I am your host, Cara, and with me today and every day is my lovely wife and co-host, Lee.
What's up, motherfuckers?
And today, I thought we could get back to our roots and talk about gay shit.
Gay shit.
Gay motherfucking shit. Because this community is wild, and I don't think there's enough criticism
We're
of
whack,
it.
yo.
Yeah. There's not enough criticism, and I just want to talk some shit about the gays.
Shit. Let's do it.
Okay? Starting with this article that a lovely follower sent over to me. She refers to herself as a very frustrated bisexual woman. And she sent me this New York Times article, and the title is, Why Bisexual Adults Report Higher Rates of Mental Distress. Okay, so you're like, okay, well,
I can deduce
maybe they
some
do.
things.
I can understand some things. Maybe I can see it. Let's just read this, okay? It says, research has found that the stigma against bisexual people takes a significant toll on their mental health, with bisexual people reporting higher rates of depression and anxiety than their straight and gay counterparts. Why do these disparities exist? And it says, the first step in fixing these disparities is understanding why they occur, experts said. Who the fuck are these experts? Bisexual experts? Or just people who say they're experts? Who are these experts?
You're seeing that a lot.
All the time.
Experts say. These Illuminati experts, this shadow government
We
experts.
don't even know who they are.
You can never appeal them.
Oh my God. And so it says, bisexual people experience discrimination from both in and beyond the queer community, creating what a psychologist Ethan Maresh called a double closet. This can discourage bisexual people from coming out, in part because they may worry they won't find a welcoming community.
I would say that's facts.
Yeah, for them, I guess.
I think the gay community laughs at bisexuals.
They do, but...
I mean, I don't know a gay man who doesn't make fun of a bisexual.
But there's also a lot of bisexuals that are just masquerading as bisexual.
Oh, totally. But for the real bisexuals, they get a
bad.
hard rap.
Yeah, the real... That's what
the
that's
real ones get a hard rap.
Yeah, that's what this follower is basically saying. Is
Yeah.
like, she's an actual bisexual person. But we'll get into what she actually says about this article and how she feels about it. And it said, this article said, again, a study from 2019 suggested that a major form of discrimination against bisexual people is identity invalidation, or the idea that your sexuality is not valid or is ignored. The study found that much of this discrimination often comes from gay and lesbian people, followed by family members and straight people, and that it can directly affect bisexual people's mental health, contributing to depression, stress, and exacerbated or triggered anxiety. So basically this article is saying...
So we have to acknowledge some things. We have to acknowledge the real bisexuals. You guys are valid.
You guys are valid. But also, this article is saying that bisexual people experience this more than gay people. And this is what the follower had said. She'd said, my sister is a lesbian who has faced actual psychologically taxing homophobia, but these quote-unquote bisexual women in long-term heterosexual monogamous relationships who have never dated the same sex think being viewed as straight is somehow a genuine disadvantage compared to visibly gay and lesbian people. Go off. That was awesome. Mic drop. Awesome. It's so true, because all of these fucking people who are like, I'm bi.
I find women attractive, therefore I am bisexual.
Even though I've never kissed a woman, or I've only kissed them when I'm drunk.
Oh, that's
which doesn't count.
Hilarious.
That doesn't count as bisexual. I'm sorry. That doesn't. If you're not doing anything else, if you're not actually having sex with a woman, then you're not actually bisexual. I'm sorry.
What a concept.
I'm sorry.
If you're not sexually attracted and you don't want to eat the poon, you're not.
You don't want to eat the poon as much as you want to suck the ween. Well, I mean, I guess it's not like really like a 50-50.
No, dude,
but
listen,
it's like if you're not
how many bisexual women have we heard who are like, yeah, I would let a girl go down on me, but would you eat her out? It's kind of gross. You're not fucking Bye.
You're not.
Sorry.
I mean, and then the follower also said, also, I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. I've primarily dated men, but had 2 intimate live-in relationships with women, though the last one was in 2018.
Actual bisexual.
But it doesn't bother me for a moment that people see me as a mom and assume I'm straight.
Wonderful.
Having people know I'm bisexual is not a priority for me.
Wow.
I don't need representation because I know I'm automatically viewed as heterosexual and therefore treated better than gays and lesbians by society. It would be incredibly tone deaf for me to insinuate otherwise.
Damn.
And then she says,
well said.
Being bisexual is just so cringe and embarrassing now. The quote-unquote community is a mess and mostly focuses on bi women and not bi men's struggles. It's a lot.
Oof. Bi men.
Facts.
Oh, no.
Well, because we view bi men as automatically gay. We don't even validate a bisexual man's identity because we don't think that a man who likes men
could ever like women
also.
Fuck.
And then women, it's primarily like it's almost like a trend type thing.
It's totally a trend.
And a lot of bi women who are really just straight women are just doing it just to impress guys. That's really why they identify as bi.
Well, and just gain brownie points.
Yeah.
They
want to be cool.
The game of life.
Edgy. Yeah.
It's stupid.
It really is. It's dumb.
I've got family members who are trying to tout around that they're bisexual when, bitch, I know you're not.
You're fucking not. You've never been with a girl and you're only with boys, like white, straight men.
Can't you inwardly think and just realize that that's inherently offensive?
Well, just accept that you're straight. But then that poses the question.
But that's boring.
But that's like, is it okay to be straight in this day and age?
But that's boring.
Not really.
No one pays attention to you though if you're straight and white and Christian.
Oh,
that's becoming the people who are bullied now. Those are the rebels.
Yeah.
Those are the rebels.
Yeah, just for like traditional values and traditional relationships.
People would just rather call themselves, women would just rather call themselves bisexual.
Well, yeah, or non-binary. It's like the same thing.
Oh my
non-binary is also a
God.
trend. You don't get to say that you're trans, but not do anything to change your identity. Like, non-binary is a fucking joke. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying that bisexuality is a joke, because it's not.
No,
I
we're
think
just
there
moving
are
on
real,
to NBs.
But there are real bisexual people. Obviously, my follower's one of them that's, like, annoyed with this kind of shit, because it's acting like bisexual people are like the most oppressed group, and it's like, no, people just don't like y'all because of the straighties that are masquerading as bi that fuck over.
It's creating a
people.
stigma for you guys.
Yeah.
You guys need to start like talking out about it.
Yeah, speaking out against it, because there's a lot of people that just are hijacking the bisexual label just like they're hijacking everything else. Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, I mean,
every
I know...
bisexual girl I ever knew, I never took seriously. I'm just gonna no cap it right there. I'm just gonna say. No. Like, because I was in high school and a lot of girls came up to me saying that they were into me and that they were bisexual. They weren't
actually
bi. They weren't. I was a fucking masculine looking dyke.
Well, yeah, like the first girl I ever dated was a fake bisexual. Oh my God, dude. Well, first of all, that was a dumb fucking thing that I did when I was a teenager. She was dating my best guy friend. And she wanted to experiment with me, and he basically gave the okay to do it behind his back. So we did, but she wouldn't do anything super sexual with me. Because
anything super lesbian.
Super lesbian, because she straight up told me, I don't want to be too gay. I don't want to be too gay.
Then you're not into it.
But now she calls herself a bisexual, so... It's like, well, are you though?
Are you serious?
You didn't want to be too gay with me.
She actually, like, on her social media?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And she has her pronouns in her bio also.
I am infuriated by the straights.
Terrible.
The straights?
And she's only dated men since then, by the way.
The fucking millennial and Gen Z straighties need to stop. You guys are the worst. At least some Gen Xers, I feel like you're old enough to where, like, you probably have gotten in that poontang. Like, you're probably not lying about it. You have. Like, you've gotten in it, right? Like,
they probably have experimented and actually done all of it. I mean, my mom. My mom was in relationships with women, like, right after I was born.
No, like, where she was the dyke.
Yeah. Represent. So it's like that's an actual thing. And granted, she hasn't been with women since then, so it's been over 20 years. But it's like,
but she actually has the sexuality.
I mean,
that's
just like with my follower.
Yes.
She's a mom. She's got 2 kids. She's been with men the last several years. That's fucking fine. Like, obviously you still have that, and it's cool if you have a preference. But I like how she said, I don't care if society sees me as straight.
Thank you.
Because my bisexuality is not a priority to me. And it's like, that's what real LGBT people are.
Dude, that in and of itself is so important for this whole community to hear right now. I feel like everyone is obsessed with that label.
Oh my God.
If you're a real member of the LGBT community,
you don't care about the label.
You don't fucking give a shit about the label. Like, oh my God. I had one of my family members straight up. My family comes from hella Christian and Catholic backgrounds, evangelical even in some aspects.
Yeah.
And I straight up told my younger cousin one time that I was gay with my auntie's permission. And that little girl looked at me and she was like, oh, that's okay. That's just one leaf on your tree.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. All this turmoil I had been dealing with of like, is it okay to be gay? Is it who am I now? Like, is this who I am? Like, it just doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't need to matter. It just dictates who you love.
Yeah.
That's it. That doesn't make any difference in life.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. And like, it's interesting to see this push for like, labels are so important because for all of LGBT history, we didn't want to be labeled as that.
No.
And it
because
was
we were othered.
Yeah.
We were othered.
Yeah. We didn't, because that's why coming out was so scary.
Yeah,
and
because you'd be Matthew Sheparded. You know what? Go up to any quote unquote one of these bisexual persons and just drop Matthew Shepard's name and see their blank face. See how much they care for our community.
And for those of you who don't know,
Matthew Shepard was a gay student who also cross-dressed too. I think the night of his death, he went into a bar and 3 men in their 20s straight up like brought him outside and beat him to death. Tortured and beat him to death.
Awful.
And then they left him to die. Yeah, they subsequently drove to a remote rural area, proceeded to rob, pistol whip, and torture Shepard, tying him to a barbed wire fence and leaving him to die.
Rest in peace. So sad. That's actual LGBT history.
I grew up knowing Matthew Shepard.
Yeah, me too.
My mom was a gay rights advocate. Like, she was an actual ally, and I was not even gay, and I knew who Matthew Shepard was.
Yeah.
None of these motherfuckers, I bet, know who Matthew Shepard is. All of these millennial, Gen Z, I'm asexual. Fuck off out of my community.
Like, stop. Like, you're just doing it
You're
for
trying to put yourself with the motherfuckers who fucking threw bricks at Stonewall?
Because, you know, at the end of the day, if they were lining us up still and like actively targeting us, they would pull the straight card so quick.
Say you're bi.
You would pull the straight card. We would have to lie
and say you're my sister. We would have to actually make some shit up. I'd have to hide my tattoo on my ring. You would too, on your ring finger. That's some real fucking
We'd
shit.
have to like put makeup on and like actually look different
straight.
Too, because we look fucking gay. We look fucking gay.
Yeah, we do.
That's the problem, and it's like these kids these days don't know shit they're talking about. They don't. They're acting like it's fun
kids
to be a part
days,
of this
including
community.
People our age.
Mm-hmm.
We are not talking about people younger than us. I know so many people who are my age who are incorrigible. They're awful.
Yeah. Terrible. It's the younger millennials, the ones that didn't actually have to grow up in like a really oppressive time period, because most of our parents were pretty progressive. Yeah, they have to create the struggle.
Yes.
But it's just a fake struggle, and it's just for oppression points and brownie points. Well, it's everything. It's mental illness, it's disability, it's fucking sexuality, gender identity.
Pity me.
Like,
I want you to pity me.
up.
Give me attention. That really started happening a lot, like when we were in high school. Like middle school, high school.
Well, it's because people want to feel special. It's like the new goth thing.
Yeah.
Like, there was a video I got tagged in from @TheTruthfulTherapist on Instagram. She's fucking awesome, by the way. She's a licensed therapist who is against a lot of this gender identity push, especially on children. And she backs her shit up with actual data of like why this is harmful to children. But anyway, she tagged me in this video last night that was like about gender identity and how that's become the new thing for going goth, like, or being emo. Like, we don't have those faces anymore.
So
now it's
true.
I'm trans, and then but like the problem with this being like a phase is that it's a permanent thing. It causes permanent damage to your body.
Oh yeah, if you actually go through with it and try to become trans.
Yeah, because like I had an emo phase, but the only thing that lasted was my black hair that I permanently dyed. So it took like 6 years to grow out, but that's it. Now no one knows I was an emo.
That's true. Well, even now, I would be hard pressed to find an emo goth group that exists today that is not.
They don't exist anymore.
Well, they do, but they're all NB.
Well,
they're all
they're
NB,
all NB,
gay, pan, demi. Like they all are part of these identifying labels. Like they're 1000% part of the group.
Yeah, it's all the goths' fault. It's all of their fault. They adopted the identity politics bullshit, and now everyone wants to be that because it's cool. It's trendy.
I was never a goth.
Yeah, but you were cool though. I wasn't cool. I was trying to be cool. I was really trying to have friends. I was the nerd, yeah. It's like our friend Laura said that we're like a movie where you're like the stereotypical bad boy and I'm the fucking
stereotypical bad boy.
Yeah, I'm misgendering you.
I'm going to sue you for $5,000 now. This is recorded. I can just take this and fucking sue you.
That's what they want, though. That's what this community wants.
And all of you fucking went off on JP for saying it. Jordan Peterson. All of you motherfuck. Can we go back just 3 or 4 years and can you all owe him an apology?
Oh my God, dude. For real.
He was fucking spouting truth this whole time.
This whole time about how all of this is insane and this is against free speech. It is, because you're policing people's speech.
In Germany and UK, they're locking people up.
Like, this is the first step. I think it's funny how, like, some of the people who are, like, on the far left or even a little liberal are like, well, what's wrong with saying people's pronouns? What's wrong with putting that in the law? Because it's the first thing that they do to regulate all of your speech.
Second of all, I hate that they try and say this. They try and be like, what's wrong with respecting a person? First of all, I do. I know trans people.
Yeah.
And I do adhere to their pronouns. I'm happy to make them feel better. It's the issue when you make it into legal speech that needs to be enforced and needs to be followed, and then you put in these pronouns that don't make sense. Also, every trans person who I respect their pronouns are either he or she.
Yep. They're not they, them. They're not anything else.
Zer, fairy, self, pitter patter. Fucking fuck off.
Gender is a binary. It's always going to be a binary. There's no third gender. There's no spirit gender. There's none of this bullshit. There's none of that.
You're just narcissistic.
You're just narcissistic and you want people to think you're special.
I want people to use my specific pronouns though. I want to feel very special by someone going out of their way and saying that my pronouns are very, very self. That would make me feel validated.
No. The only one who can validate you is your own fucking self. No one else can do that.
Oh God.
And you cannot force me. You cannot force me to validate your identity because I'm not going to. I'm not.
It's like, have we forgotten that this world is not a happy place?
Yeah. Hello.
This world is difficult. Mm-hmm. You're going to run into people who are racist, homophobic actually transphobic and homophobic, who don't want you to live.
Yeah. Sorry.
There's no way to eliminate those people from the world. They've existed for thousands of years.
Especially when you're going to try and force it upon them.
Are you kidding?
That's not going to help at all. This is actually making... All of this bullshit is actually making more people genuinely homophobic and genuinely transphobic. Like, there are more people now who, like, want to kill us than there have been in a while. Like, it's actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
Because there are people... I've gotten into arguments with people online blaming gays for all of this because we were the ones that wanted to push for marriage. And we can have a debate about that, about gay marriage and whether or not we should have pushed for it to be legalized. I don't know if we want marriage to ever be an actual law. I think in general, like,
no, I don't want the government in charge of marriage. Why the fuck do you need to have your hand in my marriage?
Straight and gay marriage.
Straight and gay. No, I take a very libertarian / conservative view with that. Like
stay out of marriage.
Yeah,
stay out of it because.
But I just wanted marriage so that I could be in your hospital room.
That's the thing. So you could be my power of attorney.
I could be your power of attorney. I could have say over what would happen. Yes, we could file taxes jointly, and that people had no excuse to try and push me out of your life.
Yeah.
There's no, I just got freaked out of, you being in a hospital bed and, I can't get in the room and, your family's not letting me in. There's these crazy, there's perks to marriages.
That's the thing.
Perks to marriage.
That's what people were fighting for. We just wanted to be able to have the same rights in that respect.
Yes.
And, be, I guess, legal in the eyes of the law of, where we're not going to get arrested for being gay or get beat up for being gay. Those were the things that gay people fought for. So I hate when people are saying things like, yeah, I hate when
still do.
I hate when they're saying that we caused all of this.
No.
I think a lot of genuine gay people really just wanted to live a normal life, man. They really just wanted to live in a world where people weren't fucking beating them up. And
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair for us to want marriage, but I also think we need to pony up and fucking out these crazy people in our community.
Yeah.
Now. I think the rational LGBT people need to take the reins of the community, the people who just were in it for marriage and to be normal people, and that's it. Not make pride into a fucking fetish kink fest. Not fucking push the pride flag into schools. We don't want any of that.
No, we don't. With that, and you're right. We do need to take the reins on the community.
We do. We need to speak up.
People out.
They think we're nuts. And that's why people are arguing with us. They're arguing with you because they think we're part of that community.
They think we're all nuts, and that's what we have a fucking problem with. It's no, man, we're not. We're not. We just want to be normal people. We don't fucking care. You don't have to see us as lesbian, but fuck, dude. Leave me alone. Let me just have my fucking land, smoke my fucking pot, and just be
my guns,
a normal person.
And let me do my life.
That's it. That's all I'm asking.
Let me do my life.
But all these motherfuckers being bisexual people are the most depressed, and we need to put all of this sexual and gender identity in schools and teach children, and children can medically transition. No.
Homeschool.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a solution.
I can't with that. I can't. There's too much. There's too much going on right now. Honestly, it's very overwhelming. I don't know how people who live in these politics or live in these groups do it every day.
I don't.
It's a lot.
Get it.
There's a lot of fucking tomfoolery fucking bullshit going on right now.
And then there's another article that I saw last night just fucking... I'm like, why? This makes us look like freaks.
Was this the one I told you to stop?
Yeah, I was going to tell you last night and you were like, save it for the pod. Okay. So let me show you. So it was this tweet. Our friend B sent it to us.
Shut up, B.
Yeah. And it's from at Women Read Women on Twitter. And it said, 2 gay men who both attended law school filed a legal complaint against the city of New York, arguing that not having access to a woman's reproductive potential is a form of discrimination and that they are entitled to have the city pay for a surrogate. And the title of the article says, "We are expected to be okay with not having children. How gay parenthood through surrogacy became a battleground."
Whoa.
Isn't that fucking weird?
Well, that is not correct.
That is not correct.
I do not believe in that.
No.
Gay men, no. If you think
Absolutely
that, you need to stop.
Not. That's fucking weird.
We have had to come to terms with the fact that we cannot have kids biologically.
Yeah.
We have had to come to the fact.
That's part of being gay.
That's the hardship
dummies.
of being gay.
Hello.
Holy fuck, you're trying to say you have a fucking right to a surrogate?
You have a right to surrogacy.
That is insane. What about adoption?
That's all the comments on this fucking tweet are like, what the fuck about adoption, you fucking weirdos?
I am disturbed.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that fucking wild?
You said that was in New York?
In New York.
Of course, that hellscape, New York.
In New York.
I'm fucking flabbergasted. Oh my God, gay men, if any of you follow us, do you guys actually think that way? I'm sure the majority of you can.
I'm sure the majority don't.
That's insane. What the fuck do you think about that?
I think it's fucking absolutely disgusting. And I think it makes us, I think it makes
funded
gay men,
by the fucking, are you shitting my dick right now?
It makes gay men look so predatory and awful. Like, you're not entitled to shit, actually. In the real world, you're not entitled to anything. No one's entitled to anything.
I can't.
I don't know if that will actually be like a city law. It's something to like to keep an eye on. Like if they do end up actually passing it. This is a legal complaint. So they're filing it to the city saying that they deserve
it could
this.
Go up to the Supreme Court.
Could. I don't know
if it went that far.
But it's New York, so they're probably going to cave to it. So, but that's a dangerous precedent to set, and I feel bad for women that are involved in that. So, and it says
there's no way. There is no way that can go through. How are you going to enforce that from the woman's side?
You can't. But it says one of the men is a former sex crimes prosecutor who compared surrogacy to prostitution and reduced the violence, rape, imprisonment, and mortal danger involved in the sex trafficking industry to not being compensated for sex work.
Whoa. Okay, so just talk about a dude who's got some warped views on life.
Yeah. And then it says gay men now want insurance companies to treat being born male as a disability or as a protected category, one which requires paid compensation. They are protesting the unfairness of not having been born biologically female.
Who put out this article?
This Women's Voices magazine. It's wild.
I don't even know what to think about that. There's not
It's dystopian.
That's like I haven't even watched it, but that's like Handmaid's Tale.
That's literally
like Handmaid's Tale. Don't they literally just use their wombs for children and that's just sex machines and shit?
And
that's
women
all I've
are
heard.
Just property of men and
That's
so now instead of women being
crazy.
Property of straight men, it's women being property of gay men just for baby pumping machines. That's fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Well, and it poses the issue of surrogacy. If surrogacy is actually good or not.
I cannot believe. I think surrogacy is a default position. I think you can be for or against it, but I think it's up to a woman and she can 1000% get that coin if you do from being a surrogate. I don't fucking give a shit if you're so fertile. Some genes are just very fertile, you know?
Yeah.
Some ladies are just meant to pop out 12 kids.
Well, and I know a girl who fucking got pregnant at 16, gave her baby up for adoption to this gay couple, and then she later, as a 24-year-old or whatever, ended up having another kid for them via surrogate. So it's I can see that, and she was happy to do it. She's like, I love being pregnant. I just don't want to have the kid. She's like, but I have a beautiful experience when I'm pregnant, and I enjoy it, and I get paid for it. So why not?
That's fantastic. That's
great.
That's fine. That's where I'm like, that's fine.
But you don't get to say, as those gay men, that I'm entitled to your womb.
How do you think that? How can you think that?
I don't know.
How do you even come to that conclusion? That doesn't make sense.
But I want to have biological kids. Okay, well then.
But it's an affront against me that I'm in a gay marriage and relationship and I can't have kids. It's an affront. Society is affronting me. You need
yourself.
You need to pony up with life, compadre. You need to fucking get a grip and realize you might need to spend thousands of dollars to fucking have a kid or adopt.
That's just what it is. And we can have a conversation about whether or not adoption should be cheaper and more accessible and things like that. I get it, but at the same time, that's another person's body, and you're saying you're entitled to that person's body because
provided by the state.
You're living a lifestyle that bears no children. And I hate to use that term, lifestyle, but it is a lifestyle.
It is.
That's what being gay is.
There are people who closet themselves and get beards and are living a lie.
Yeah.
For the lifestyle
of being straight. Yeah.
If you're so affronted to the point where you are demanding another woman's body be used for your child,
you're demented.
You're demented. And B, fucking narcissistic.
So gross. And it makes the gay community look even worse.
Oh my
I
God.
hate that.
No,
I hate that.
That's on the gay men. The gay men are actually going to look awful.
But, you know, Dave Rubin, he got a lot of hate for his shit with him and his husband.
His was kind of weird, though.
It was weird.
A little
Let's
weird.
Talk about it.
It was just a little weird.
If y'all don't know, Dave Rubin is a libertarian.
Classic liberal, you could say.
Political commentator on YouTube. He's a gay man. He's been in a lot of conservative spaces, so people often associate him as a conservative man.
He was red-pilled by Larry Elder.
Yeah. He's a dope dude, and he's got cool views, whatever. But he's married, and they wanted to have kids, and they had talked about this with a podcast with Jordan Peterson. David talked with Jordan Peterson and said that they had considered for a long time whether or not they wanted biological kids or adoptive kids. They felt like the biological component was really important to them. So then they were going through the process of like finding donor eggs. They thought maybe one of their sisters could donate an egg, but then they thought that that might be weird. So then they ultimately went to surrogacy. So they got some surrogates, paid them, and, you know, inseminated them with their sperm. And then after they had their babies, they hired all these nannies. They also ordered or bought
like 2 years worth of breast milk.
2 years worth of breast milk from not the biological moms of the
another
surrogates, woman. And and now they're raising their kids, and they got a lot of hate for it.
I mean, I can send some hate their way too for the night nurse shit.
I think it's weird, but they got a lot of hate for it from conservatives. They're like, 2 gay men shouldn't have children.
Okay, no.
And then Dave Rubin had said in this podcast with Jordan Peterson, he's like, well, but I feel like we're doing everything right, and we're trying to do everything by the book and give these kids a quote-unquote normal upbringing. And I'm like, okay, but it still feels a little weird that you got surrogates and then you ordered 2 years worth of breast milk, but then you have night nurses to take care of them at night because you don't want to get up in the night and raise your kids.
Yeah, nannies by day and by night.
They have them by day too.
Yeah, they've got nannies and night nurses. So it's just to me. Isn't that part of being a parent though? Is the struggle? Don't you get?
Yeah. Well, and you also knew a gay guy at your work that had straight up told us, well, I feel like as a gay person, it's
our obligation.
Yeah.
It's our obligation and duty to adopt.
Right. And it's like, well...
Disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
I disagree.
But also, like, I mean, we could just adopt.
Well, I mean,
we've
thought about it a lot.
We have, yeah.
And I think, well, just recently we came to the conclusion of it's probably going to be adoption.
Right.
For our 8 kids.
8 to 10 kids that your parents want us to have. It keeps
going up.
No.
Our parents, me.
We're going to have a gaggle of kids. But, yeah, we came to terms with probably adoption, even though, I don't know, there is a biological desire to have a biological kid.
A kid that looks like you. Yeah.
But it's like, we're also gay women, so it's going to be harder. If we wanted to have biological kids, we had to either find a sperm donor or go to a sperm clinic, which, if y'all don't fucking know, a lot of those infertility doctors, those IVF doctors, there's a few of them that have gotten in trouble for illegally inseminating women with their sperm.
There's a whole Netflix documentary on it.
There's a whole Netflix documentary about it where
you've got 100 siblings
without the women's consent.
So
these women don't know. So
it's anyway, a no.
That's all of it's fucked up. And so it's like with these gay men, I get it. If you want to have a surrogate, that's fucking fine, but you're not entitled to one, and you don't get to demand one from the government.
That's just all we're saying.
And have taxpayers pay for your shit? You want taxpayers to pay for your surrogate? Because you're gay?
Get a grip. Dude, welcome to reality. It's not going to happen.
Dude, I'm just so sick of this community sometimes. Every time I read a new thing like that, or like with the fucking Toronto teacher.
Just become more depraved. Oh my god.
The Toronto teacher with his fucking
teacher.
With his tits and his nipples poking out. You know, a bunch of y'all had sent me like a 4chan snippet of like, oh, well, this guy, he's actually faking it, and he's red-pilled a lot of students, and he's just doing this for shock and awe factor.
You just showed your internet age. It was Reddit, not 4chan.
It was 4chan. I thought it was 4chan.
Honey, no one goes on 4chan anymore.
Wow, that's insulting to the incels on 4chan. Anyway, whatever. It was a theory. It was just the guy saying, fucking, oh, this teacher's actually a red pill, and he's doing it for shock and awe.
Yeah, they were trying to say that this dude had, like, gotten a write-up for toxic masculinity in the past, so now he was just swinging the pendulum the other way and to see if he would get a toxic femininity write-up. I don't buy it for a second.
I don't. At first I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's an interesting theory. But then I was like, well, but why the nipples?
You're not a normal... No, you're not...
That's weird. You're doing it in front of minors.
Person. Yeah.
You're doing it in front of minors still.
I feel like, but he's covered, but I'm like, but I feel like that's...
It's weird. The nipples are weird. Like, it would have been one thing...
Shouldn't that be, like, an offense?
It would have been one thing if he was going to do it as a prank and he just had, like, a really bad wig and wore, like, a dress and, like, some melons or something.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
The fact that it's the huge, gargantuan tatas.
Sexualized tatas.
With the air... I can see the fake areolas. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like because of that, it should be, like, public indecency.
Yeah, it's fucking gross.
Why isn't it?
Well, and like akin to pedophilia a little bit because you're doing it in front of students.
You've never done this before. You're doing it in front of minors. Why? It just needs to be that.
Well, and like all these kids were saying in these news articles that he's been doing this for a long time and that they've been trying to fight it with the school.
So someone just happened to get him on video?
Yeah. There were people that happened to leak video and photos of him. That's how it originally came out in the story of like all these kids were like, yeah, he's been doing this for a while and we've been fighting it with the school and nobody's been doing anything. So might as well blow it up.
I'm so glad we're out of school.
Oh my God. I could not. We literally made it out just in time, dude. That would have been wild to see. Because I would have said something. I feel like I'm the type of person, I would have said something in class the second I saw him come in. Why the fuck are you wearing fake tits, Mr. Smith?
Dude, if we have any listeners who are either in school right now or parents of kids in school right now, please tell us what you're seeing.
I have a follower who's been sending me shit about her second grader kid, 7 years old, coming home with instructions that are like, we need to be tolerant of people's sexual identity and gender identity. And she's like, what do I even do with this? And I'm like, I know. I don't know if she's in position to homeschool, but like, I'm like, talk to the principal or talk to the... She's like, I'm trying, but like, I don't know what they're going to say. And I'm like,
dude, part of me is just like, you're not in a position to homeschool. You need to make the position. They're coming after our kids now.
Yeah.
They're coming after your kids. They're trying to brainwash your kids. I don't know what motive it's for. It's not good.
Well, that's why there are a lot of parents that are speaking out about it in public school. Because they're like, okay, this is insane.
Well,
like,
they're creating a virtuous, emotionally charged army.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Antifa?
Right. The same thing.
That.
They want a civil war. They want us to be against each other to distract from what they're actually doing. That's not a conspiracy theory.
Tom McDonald said it best.
That's literally what they're doing. And like, I had another person who was like, you guys are such into conspiracy theories. I'm like, okay, but we are though.
MK Ultra existed. What are you talking 60s, about?
Dude. And that was a conspiracy theory that they did for 12 years.
What are they doing now?
Drugging people.
Are you really that like naive
to think that we're being told the truth 100% of the time? No. And it's always been a divisive strategy for war and anything of like to divide the people, divide because it's easier to conquer, number one, and number two, it distracts people from the actual real issues at hand.
Like, we still don't have the names on the fucking pedo list, on Ghislaine Maxwell's list.
And that's the Epstein Islands.
That's just gone into the void.
No one cares.
Where is V for Vendetta Guy Fawkes.
Honestly.
I think it's about that time. We're coming towards that time.
I fucking hope so.
Seriously,
I pray every day.
The elites have hidden
us.
so well because in this modern age, it's so easy to hide yourself and so easy to protect yourself. No, we need like Anonymous to come back with like 10,000 hackers and take everybody down.
That would be so awesome.
Go after all the pedophiles. Release all their information. That needs to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wonder if this video will get censored because we're inciting an insurrection.
No, dude. I'm just saying, Anonymous, come back.
I know.
That shit they did with the Steubenville fucking rape. That, like, come back.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen.
Our form of justice. Our form of justice, I think, is going to be in the internet age.
I think so, yeah.
I think that's the biggest way to get to people.
Well, like, that's why they're making the metaverse and stuff. Because like, they want us to be all digitalized. And
how big of a trip would it be if you opened up Instagram and every single video that you saw was from Anonymous? Like, someone just looking into a camera.
Wild.
And it was from every single person's account.
That's like V for Vendetta.
You're looking up my account. It's fucking all V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking all Anonymous. That's the kind of shit I'm like, people are going to get pushed to that. Yeah, they're going to get pushed. If you keep censoring us.
Yeah.
And if you keep pushing pedo, weird fucking gay shit and trying to keep maps within the... Like, if you're fucking trying to push all this shit, it's going to reach that level.
Yeah, people have a breaking point, I think. I feel like we are heading towards that just because of the breaking point. Like, just... I feel like everyone wanted the breaking point to be like the Trump and Hillary election or the Trump and Biden election, but I'm like, no, I think we're just ramping it up. It's just like we talked about in the fourth turning, like there's going to be a crisis. So I don't know if it's going to be in a few years or in the next decade, but there's going to be something. There's going to be something that tips us all over the edge. So if it's war, it's war. If it's
God, what if someone just takes down the internet?
That would be wild. If the internet was down, then there would be total anarchy. 100%.
What if they took down the internet and then they took down the power grid? Hackers can do that.
Well, if they did the power grid that, we
would be fucked.
That would be fucked up, dude. That would be so scary.
Like, solar panel people could still get power, but if you took down the internet too,
that's scary.
we'd be in the dark ages again.
That would be really scary. Well, especially without electricity, because nobody can depend. Like, everyone depends on electricity.
Dude, people are talking about that.
That would be scary.
Yeah.
The internet would be bad enough, like taking down the internet. I mean, they took down the internet in Iran, where that lady was killed for her hijab. So B had reached out to me and said
women are doing good things over there.
B had reached out to me saying that she had a friend out there, and they said they turned off the internet, and like 50 more women have been killed because of that, because of the protests. So it's fucked up. Like, and that's what happens when you give the government enough control, because how could their internet be disconnected like that for the entire country? It's either the government's in control of it, or the companies are in cahoots with the government or something, or with the moral police that they have there, the extremists.
I'm just glad that these women out there you said it was in Iran? I think those women in Iran who are standing up for that shit, they remind me of those badass ladies in Mad Max.
100%. That's a great movie.
Who are getting away from Immortan Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking do or die now, ladies. Stand up for your shit. Fuck yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it's fucking crazy that they're shutting down the whole fucking country.
It's insane. It's scary. And, like, that could happen to us,
it could. Too. Well, North Korea it's like the darkest place on Earth.
Oh, so scary.
It's the darkest place on Earth. Yeah. They're already living in that apocalypse.
And North Koreans. Communism, by the way. Some of y'all are communist supporters. Fuck that.
That's not the ideal communism, though. To get the ideal communism, we need to kill 100 million more, don't you know?
No. Fuck that, dude. I don't know what's going to happen with this shit. I mean, I feel like the LGBT stuff is going to really push people over the edge, and that's what I'm afraid of. I don't think, like...
I think it's going to be the LGBT and the censoring in regards to it.
Yeah.
The censoring is too much.
Yeah, because you're censoring people's voices who are like, this is bad. This is dangerous ideology. It's dangerous to our children. It's dangerous to society.
They're monopolies.
Yeah.
Well, they're monopolies, too. Like, you can't get ahead on Rumble. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They're really trying to, though. They're really fucking trying to. You remember Parler?
Mm-hmm. Parler was fucking banned off the fucking app stores.
I thought there was a law about no monopolies, huh?
Seems like they've circumvented that because
with fucking tech.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We need a bill of rights for tech.
It's a private company. They can ban whoever they want. It's not when it doesn't matter when they have billions of users and they're
you are now
global.
the town square.
Like
you're
come
the
on.
global town square. No,
you don't get to say that you're a private company anymore when you are in all these countries and you affect billions of people. It's not millions, it's billions of people. Who doesn't know what Facebook is unless you're like in the rainforest and like in an indigenous tribe and you're like not on the internet?
I'm a song. Right? No, for real.
You don't know. You know, everyone knows fucking Facebook.
Everyone knows it.
I'm sorry, but that's just what it is.
It needs to be not as simple of a loophole as it's a private company.
And if everyone's favorite president, Mr. Trump, and his Republican majority in Congress ever did anything when they had the majority, they would have actually taken care of big tech like they actually cared about it. So that's why some of y'all people who are like diehard Trump, fucking look at him. He didn't do shit.
Just stop. He was good for the time. Just stop.
Yeah, like we don't need to reelect him.
He did not. He didn't stop any of the future bullshit.
No,
he didn't stop any of it.
But he was one of the first.
You ended a war in Iran.
He was one of the first fucking presidents that had a gay cabinet member, and nobody wants to admit that. And it's like,
that's true.
Trump was a homophobe. No, he wasn't.
No, I never thought he was a fucking. You are blind. You're stupid if you think he's a homophobe.
And like, I don't see how Trump doing that is like worse than Biden having a trans secretary of health. And like,
if you don't vote for me, you're black. You're not black.
You're not black. Like, Biden's an actual piece of shit liberal that Malcolm fucking X warned us about. He warned us about those types of liberals, and they're in our government.
Yeah, because they're foxes. They're not wolves. You can see a wolf coming from miles away.
Mm-hmm.
But a fox is going to have this special type of smile with you. It's going to say it's on your side, but then it's going to have the lamb.
And it's the same shit with the LGBTQIA2S+ community. All of these fucking fakers are foxes.
Open your eyes.
In sheep's clothing.
Open your eyes. Jessica Yaniv is not part of the community.
No.
These fucking rapists who are going, these rapists who are going into female-only prisons and fucking impregnating them do not deserve to be called she.
Nope.
Unless, of course, I can cut your dick off.
Well,
I'm sorry. I go it's like that scene in Kill Bill where she goes, like everything turns red, and I'm like, you're raping women in prison?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a child.
Time to go nuts.
You're a child molester who now identifies as a woman.
As a map?
Fuck you. Burn them all.
It makes me rabid.
We were just talking about this because I had another follower who had told me about this movie on HBO, and she's in the film industry, and she was like, y'all need to watch this. It's got a lot of references to pedophilia. She's in the film industry, and this movie is called Vacation, and it's on HBO, and it looks like it was made in like 2012, 2014 or something like that, but I'm not going to get into descriptions about these fucking clips, but there are a lot of clips in that fucking show that are referencing
There's like at least 5 clips that she sent us where they just reference pedophile jokes.
It's gross.
And it's like, these actors had no problem with the script. Like, you had no problem putting your face in a boy's crotch.
Lap for comedy. Like, that's fucking weird.
That's weird.
It's fucking gross. And we watched Shutter Island last night. Yeah. And there's a scene in Shutter Island where Leonardo DiCaprio, spoiler, is getting his dead children out of the water because they drowned.
That movie's been out forever. It's your fault.
If you haven't watched it. But he's got 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, and he brings them all out of the water, lays them down flat, and he's only caressing the girl. He only gives weird CPR where he's like, has his whole mouth over her mouth to the girl, and then he lays her down and he's like caressing her thighs and stuff.
Weird. Yeah, he's giving really very Kevin Spacey vibes.
It's weird. Well, and then
how do we know?
He only dates women if they're 25 and younger. So
seems like a very specific front that you're putting out to people.
It's weird. It's weird. And there's lots of those Hollywood elites that are just straight up pedophiles.
Sexual deviants.
They were on the Epstein lists.
Harvey Weinstein.
Dude.
They're all given into it. They're all cool with it.
It's gross. It's so
Stop
gross. And they keep using the LGBT community as a front for it. And I'm fucking sick of it.
Insert the Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
Please.
Just stop. Stop involving us. We want to stop being involved.
And you're making us, like, you're making the whole conservative argument back in the day of, like, this is a slippery slope and LGBT people are all pedophiles. It's like, you're literally making us look like that. And I'm so not for it.
The people who are not talking about it are also making us look like that.
Yeah.
Not talking about it is not
speaking
helping.
out against it.
Yeah, it's not helping.
Yeah, because you're just allowing it and enabling it. It's just like with all the straighties that are masquerading as bi. It starts from there and it just deviates down.
Well, I guess anyone can be bi. Well, I guess anyone can be trans. Well, I guess anyone can just identify as anything, and I don't even need to change my beard or my beer gut,
right?
Or my
change my behavior
or anything, right?
There's a reason why shaming exists and gatekeeping exists, because there are certain behaviors that need to be fucking shamed and they're gatekeeped.
It's like that episode in Big Mouth. We need the shame demon.
The shame
wizard. He needs to come in, otherwise we're just all masturbating and fucking each other constly. Like, exactly, we need shame.
We need shame.
You need humility.
Weird.
You need shame.
It's like Jeffrey Dahmer, y'all. That guy was a weird motherfucker. And if anybody in his life would have just straight up like cared enough about him to be like,
shit.
Hey, what are you fucking doing in your basement of your grandma's house that smells like death? Like, what are you doing?
That smells like death.
It's like, nobody cared. If y'all haven't watched that show on Netflix, it's actually pretty well made.
They labeled it as LGBT. I'm so fucking triggered.
Well, he was a gay man, and he killed other gay men. So, sorry, but that's what it was. I'm sorry. John Wayne Gacy was a fucking pedophile, and he liked little boys. He was a gay pedophile.
They didn't name his documentary, though, LGBT.
Yeah. Well, Netflix is fucked up anyway because of the cuties thing.
Yes.
They still have cuties on there. But you know what? Canceling your subscription is not going to stop them.
No.
Because it's performative activism, just like the fucking shit of like, I'm going to put my black square up for Black Lives Matter.
I'm going to put a Ukraine flag in my description.
It's performative activism.
Just shut up.
Because you know what? All of these companies are involved in porn and child porn. Visa, MasterCard, Walmart, Amazon. Are you going to cancel all of those? No? Okay. You're just going to cancel the one little tiny subscription you have, your Netflix subscription, because you're like, I'm doing something. You're not, because Netflix is around the world and has billions of users. It makes a buttload of money.
So just don't watch it. Don't watch it if you don't want to. Don't want to.
We can take this part out. I'm a little harsh on that.
You're not at all.
You're doing nothing.
You're not. You're not doing anything. It doesn't affect anything. I'm sorry. We live in a day and age now where there's enough of us constantly on the internet where it doesn't matter. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry with shit like that.
Well, then how do we change anything?
With shit like that. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Do this. Fucking talk about it more. I keep thinking that like these podcasting things and these like they're becoming the new talk shows.
They are, yeah.
They really are. Like that's what people are tuning in to watch.
Yeah, it's still like it's niche enough now that there's not like a ton of people, but it's getting there cuz I mean Joe Rogan has made podcasting.
Well, he pioneered it. Yeah.
He did.
He like it's huge now.
It's huge.
But
yeah.
it's huge in the aspect of like everyone's trying to shoot their shot. You just need to talk about the truth. Just talk about how you feel. Just bring it up. Just talk about it.
And the more they censor it, it just makes more people want to speak out against it because they've censored Joe Rogan. They censored Russell Brand.
Yep.
Russell Brand got one of his YouTube videos fucking taken down because he was talking about ivermectin.
You're right.
And he was pissed. And he's like, fuck this. I'm going to Rumble. Fuck you. Fuck you and your censorship. And fucking Russell Brand's like a liberal hippy dippy dude.
Totally.
Like he's like not conservative or anything, but like he was pissed because he advocates for the truth. He's awesome. now. If y'all haven't watched some of his stuff, you really should. He's
you
actually
should
really
look
enlightened.
into him recently.
He's changed a lot. He's sober. He doesn't do drugs or alcohol or anything, and he's great. But like, that's the problem. They keep censoring people like that who are just advocating for the truth and speaking out against it. But that we need to keep doing it, because if we allow them to censor us and
they're just going to keep doing it.
They're going to keep doing it, and it's going to get way worse.
They're just going to censor us into oblivion.
1984 level, dude.
It already is. They banned Andrew Tate from Uber, from Airbnb,
from everything,
from banks.
That's bad.
That's
like,
insane.
You can like or
off
hate
of
him.
Allegations because he runs Hustler University. I'm sorry. Anyone with a brain avoids Hustler University. Sorry he's making cash off of the fucking idiots.
Well,
I'm sorry.
And like, you don't have to like his views, but like, you shouldn't advocate for people being completely deplatformed. It's just like with Trump.
Totally.
Him being banned off of social media was huge. That was
sitting
huge.
president.
That's crazy for people to even advocate for something like that. You don't have to like Trump. I'm not advocating for him. I think he's a big buffoon.
That's why Jack Dorsey left.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, that created the biggest shithole they could ever conceive.
That's so bad.
And they just went full into it. Like, Twitter had an option, right? Either reinstate the president or just go full into censorship. And they took the path. And I think fucking Dorsey got out of it because he was like,
fuck that.
This is a lot.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Well,
this is like playing with dark forces, like the dark side.
And Zuckerberg being like trying to justify why he banned the New York Post for 2 weeks to Joe Rogan. I'm like, I don't believe shit about him. I don't believe shit that they say. They're just trying to manipulate us all into thinking that they're just normal human beings that don't see this is wrong. I'm like, you shouldn't be censoring shit, dude.
No.
Unless it's the objective bad things like pedophilia and murder and incitement for violence.
Yes.
That's it.
Shouting fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah.
But
we
you
know
can't
free
do
speech
that on
can
the
be
internet.
limited. Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. The internet used to be the wild, wild west, and now it's like straight up Big Brother, and they control everything. That's why they want a digital currency, because it's easier to control that. I mean, technically we already do. Like, the numbers on your screen on your bank account don't actually exist because your banks are just playing around with your fucking money.
It's true. They're trying to keep Bitcoin down.
I
wonder if Bitcoin is going to become
because
big.
it's fully anonymous, right?
Yes.
So you can't track it. I don't know shit about crypto.
Yeah. I really don't either. I just know that they use Bitcoin on the dark web, on the deep and dark web.
Yeah.
To buy drugs and other illegal, illicit things.
Well, the government's probably buying all that shit because, the government's involved in the
I don't know.
drug cartels.
Well,
and stuff.
I know that, but the government's shut down the Silk Road.
That's true.
But that's because the Silk Road was taken away from their profits.
Right.
Someone created the Silk Road. Just so everyone knows, the Silk Road it was a website on the dark web that you could go on and purchase illegal drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like all types. Literally all types. Anything you could think of. And they took it down. But it came back up.
Like magic.
Sorry.
I don't know, man.
You can't control us.
Right.
You just can't control us. That's to bring it back to that. You never can, because we're gonna find a way. Someone came up with Bitcoin.
Yep.
Hackers are out there exposing and doxing pedophiles on the deep and dark web.
God
just so you guys know, there are
God
some people doing God's modern work in
Angels.
today's age.
Thank
if you're one of them,
my heroes.
thank you.
But my heroes. I posted this picture the other day of like Pepe the Frog swinging on a swing in a beautiful forest, and it was like me daydreaming about killing pedos, and it had him with a little Glock. Like, that's me. We were just talking about this before we filmed this. Like, I straight up, if I had my way, all of them would be lined up in the back. All
just
the pedos.
take them out back.
I have no sympathy for any of them. I have no sympathy at all.
Yeah, I think
Disgusting.
Steven Crowder said it best. Like, you can get therapy for it, but if you reoffend once, we're taking you out back. We got to put you down.
Yeah, you're defective. You're fucking gross. I'm sorry. This is why the gay people
Sorry
have to
to
fucking
who?
speak. Well, nobody. I'm not sorry for nobody.
Sorry to who? If you're fucking offended, you're a pedophile.
I mean, yeah. It's just like how gays against groomers being banned off of Twitter and shit and have to censor their name because groomer is associated with anti-LGBTQ. No, it's not. Groomer has always and forever will always be associated with groomers and pedos. Which some gay people can be. Okay? Sorry to break it to you. But anyway, I know we went on a couple tangents in this episode. We have a lot to say about it. I'm sure we'll talk about it more. If you guys have more articles you guys want us to cover on future episodes or more crazy fucking stories you want us to talk about, please send them our way.
We showed you. We'll talk about them.
We will definitely talk about them and reference them. We appreciate all the support for the pod. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at based_lesbian. And all of our links are going to be in the description. Make sure you subscribe to our shit and follow our shit.
God damn it.
God damn it. Why are you listening and not subscribing to our shit? We're awesome. Anyway, that's all we've got for today. We'll talk to y'all next week. Woo-hoo! Bye. Mwah.